I'm Juani, I'm a local host here in Bogota, Colombia, and we are in La Candelaria with Aleja, our historical district and a must during your visit to Bogota. Today we're going to share with you our main landmarks, some hidden gems, and of course great local advice. Take notes, because travelers have said that our tour in La Candelaria is a one-in-a-lifetime experience, and today you have access to it. Are you ready for this Candelaria Walking Tour? Let's go!
La Candelaria is part of our city center. It's where our main landmarks and government buildings are located. We're going to move between Carrera 2 and Carrera 8, and Calle 7 and Jimenez de Quesada Avenue. If you are going to wander La Candelaria by yourself, we recommend to stay within this area.
The name of this spot is Chorro de Quevedo, and as you can see, it's a pretty lively place here in Bogota. It's a place where we Bogotanians like to gather and to have a drink, enjoy the sun, just have a good time. Now, Chorro de Quevedo is pretty special for us, and for you to have an idea, this place was not visited as much as you see it nowadays. Maybe 10 years ago, it was not like this. The reason of that, unfortunately, we believe that Chorro de Quevedo was not nice to see. We used to believe that it was a place maybe with a little bit of insecurity, but at the end what happened is that all of this story is going to be changed by the beautiful graffiti art that we're going to show you in this place. And this is the perfect example of the importance of graffiti for us. So graffiti, we're pretty famous Colombians in the world for our graffiti art, and the importance of this art for us is that it's used as a tool of transformation of areas that were seen badly before. Like here, like Chorro de Quevedo. So that is one of the main things that you are going to enjoy in this place. The second one is of course a beer, especially with the sun that we have today, or a beer, a beverage that we call Chicha. Chicha is a beverage that is also pretty special for us. It's a beverage that was from our indigenous communities, and it is actually fermented corn. Before, Chicha was really hard to find in different places of Bogota. Nowadays, Chorro de Quevedo is one of the few ones where you can find it. So if you want to try it, this is the perfect spot. Okay, so welcome to Chorro de Quevedo. Let's have a look. This graffiti is one of my favorites here in Chorro de Quevedo, and the reason of that is going to be because of several things. First, they're spotting a community of our country that usually is not a spot in art, and that is the beauty of graffiti art. That people that before were not put into art pieces, now they are put on one. Now the community that we're going to see here is the Afro-Colombian community. In Colombia, we have three different roots. We have our indigenous root, then we have the Spanish root, and third, we're going to have the root of all the people that were brought from Africa, unfortunately, to work as slaves. In this one, clearly you can see our Afro-Colombian community. Now, another thing that makes this graffiti one of my favorites is because clearly it's going to be a cup. And here in Colombia, even though we already mentioned, we are pretty Catholic, pretty religious, we're also pretty open-minded, especially here in Bogota, a city where everybody's welcome. So here you can see it in this beautiful graffiti. Now the artist is called Guache, also important, follow Guache. So look guys, this is a beautiful street that we have here in Candelaria. It's pretty close to the Chorro de Quevedo Square. Now we call this street the Funnel Street because actually the shape is a shape of a funnel. And it is going to be still part of it from the cobblestone from the colony. So it's pretty particular here. It's a beautiful street. Another thing that you can see here is our beautiful graffiti, the beautiful murals. This artist is called Carlos Trilleras. That is the name of this artist. And Carlos Trilleras is going to be an artist from here, from Bogota. Something pretty special about him is that he's actually self-taught. Well guys, we are now in a farmer's market here in Candelaria. The name of this farmer's market is La Concordia. for you to have an idea, farmers markets are going to be a huge part of our local lifestyle. We love them and we're going to have a bunch of them. Now, this market is going to be pretty particular because what happened was that the mayor of Bogota is going to redesign it, and now is going to have this view of an European farmers market. So it's pretty different from what we are used to eat here in Bogota, but it's amazing, it's beautiful. And we're going to have several local entrepreneurs. So let's go and visit it.
Cannot miss the opportunity to share with you our favorite stores, especially because most of the shops here are owned by local entrepreneurs or family businesses. So, number one, we have Su+Paz. It literally translates add to peace, because all of the products that are sold in this store are produced by former guerrilla fighters from the FARC. Now, this is proof for us that we can build, and we are building a different country. They used to have weapons, and now they are producing t-shirts, drinks, posters, and different products. So if you have the opportunity, come check them out, and if you can buy, that way you will actually add to peace. You, the Chorro de Quevedo is known for the Chicha, and this is a place where we actually come to drink Chicha. So cheers, guys. Another store we must recommend in this market is this one, LateChoco. It's wonderful because they sell delicious product based on cacao or cocoa, so mostly chocolate. And one of the most amazing things about this store is that they support local communities in the Pacific coast of Colombia called LateChoco. Now you'll find these delicious chocolates with fillings from different local products such as borojo, pineapple, coconut, coffee, lulo. Mine is made out of coffee, so cheers.
¿Está bueno?
Marica, está muy bueno. You get the sweetness of the chocolate first, and then you have like, as if you were drinking an espresso, like a punch of coffee. This is so good. You have to come to this store and get some souvenirs from here. One of the things you will see a lot on the internet about La Candelaria is the beautiful colonial houses with all the painting and colors. When you come here, we recommend to come to the Fatiga street. You'll find over there the Calle de la Fatiga. This is one of the steepest streets in La Candelaria, and also it's one of the most protected ones to make it more accessible for tourists. So you can see it's only for pedestrians, and you'll have that beautiful scenic views of these colonial houses. You'll notice that they are original from the colony because of the balconies, the wooden balconies, but also because what we are doing right now is that we're peeling off the cement and the paint in the corners to make the stone come out. Now we're walking down the Fatiga street, and we're going to take you to one of our favorite hidden gems here in La Candelaria. It's usually where Aleja and I actually go to have some Coca Tea. We would drink Coca Tea on a daily basis. We love it. And it's called El Apotecario del Cóndor. So we hope you enjoy it. So here we have our Coca Tea. As I said before, this is something Aleja and I would drink every day, and we love coming here because they serve it with the plants, the natural plants. Now, we say this plant is a smart plant, and it comes from the use of our indigenous communities, and it's because when you drink it, it will read what your body needs. So it will help you accommodate to the altitude. It will also cut your hunger, and it will help with a lot of with your respiratory system as well. And it has a lot of properties. So when you're here, you can have some of these if you're having issues with the altitude, adjusting to the altitude. And also if you want to try something different, it's going to be very herbal, and we just love it.
Now, also that something that I also wanted to share with you about the coca plant is that the coca plant, of course, Juani say it, like is really important to our indigenous communities because of all the properties that it has, and also because it's known as a knowledge plant, a plant of knowledge. Now, unfortunately, nowadays the coca plant is going to have a bad reputation because of another thing that is totally different, that is called cocaine. That is going to be the drug, of course. So cocaine and coca plant, pretty different. When we said coca plant, we're referring to the leaf, the natural item. What is going to be the cocaine? Cocaine is an extract of that plant. And for them to have that extraction, they will have to put on the coca plant more or less 12 different chemics, including acid, gasoline, cement, the worst things that you can imagine. So different.
We are now in a very special place for us, Aleja and me. This is a place hard to access sometimes because we're just in front of the presidential house. But we love coming here because one, we step outside of the touristic sites of La Candelaria, and two, we come to this church. This is our favorite church in Bogota, not only because it's so beautiful inside, but also because of the cool stories hidden inside of the church. In there, we have the remains of Policarpa Salabarrieta, or better known as La Pola. By the way, if you come to my country, if you come to my city, that's the way you order a beer. You don't say, give me a beer, you say, give me a Pola. But La Pola was this amazing woman who used to live very close to Bogota, and during our revolution, during our fight for independence, she decided to move to Bogota. In that moment, she infiltrated into the house of the Spanish as a tailor and started to steal all the information from the royal army. Now, she not only did this, but she also gathered other women to infiltrate with her and again steal a lot of information from the royal army. The information they gathered was essential for us to win the battle against the Spanish, and of course, eventually, the Spanish realized she was the one organizing all of this. They captured her and they murdered her. Before she died, one of the last things she did, or she said, was, even though I'm young and I am a woman, I have enough courage to die 1 in 1,000 times for my country. She died being 22 years of age. And now her human remains are inside of this church.
A visit to La Candelaria will be never complete without visiting this place. So this place is called Fragmentos and is one of our favorite hidden gems. You're not going to find this place on a map, on a guided book, because it's not still out there. It's a place that we Colombians still keep. It is going to mean a lot to us because it has a huge piece of our heart inside. Now, I'm going to tell you that we're not going to go today inside of Fragmentos because we don't want to mess the surprise that is in there for you. But I'm going to tell you rapidly what it means to us and what it is. So Fragmentos is going to be a place that is going to be built after the peace agreement that we have in 2016. A peace agreement with an armed group called Guerrilla. The name of the guerrilla was FARC. That was running here in the country in the 60s. It was one of the oldest and largest guerrillas, not only from our country, but also from the world. And unfortunately, because of stories like this, we Colombians mostly our spot as a country of violence, or as a country that you shouldn't be visiting. But what we have been finding around after all of these years working with international travelers is that Colombia is always a really good surprise, because once you get there, you're going to realize that we are more than this. This story doesn't define us as human beings and as countries. So that is a reason why we really encourage you to visit it. Now, what we are going to have inside is basically, when this peace agreement happened back in 2016, this armed group is going to give to the government the weapons that they had. And the government didn't want to destroy them. They wanted to build something meaningful with it. That is when the project of Fragmentos is going to appear into the picture. So this place was built with 37 tons of the weapons that were surrendered by the FARC. And nowadays it works as a gallery, as an art gallery that remind us what happened to us, and also where we're going to have different art exhibitions that talk about the topics that we as human beings don't want to talk about usually. So just for you to have it in mind, to have it in your picture, please don't forget to visit Fragmentos when you come. An open invitation, if you want us to show you Fragmentos, we will be more than happy to.
We are now in el Santuario de la Virgen del Carmen. It's one of the most beautiful churches in La Candelaria. You can see now a lot of YouTubers, vloggers taking pictures in this and videos in this church just because it's so beautiful. One thing that makes it so special for us as Colombians is the Virgin, of course, Virgen del Carmen. We have a lot of virgins in Latin America, but for us Colombians, she's one of the most important ones. She's followed and adored by taxi drivers, bus drivers, truck drivers, any sort of drivers, because she is the protector of the road. Guys, we made it. We are now in the Centro Cultural Gabriel Garcia Marquez, or Cultural Center of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is a beautiful space. On the first floor they have this wonderful bookstore, so if you want to buy some books to take back home, I highly recommend you visit that bookstore. And on the second floor they have this open area, which is wonderful because you have a different, unique perspective of La Candelaria. You have this beautiful view of the main square, but also you can see the colonial houses, some balconies, and of course the mountains that frames our beautiful city. And talking about the mountains, if we look up our hill, we have Monserrate, the owner of the best panoramic view of the city. It's one of the major touristic attractions in the city. We highly recommend you go in there. So we are now in the street of the theater. It's actually named like that because of the building I have to my left. That's the Theater Colón. It was one of the most important theaters in the city. Now, just to give you an idea how important it is, if you have watched Encanto, the Disney movie, the premiere of that movie was done here, and they truly make this city look like Encanto. We as Bogotanians love theater. So if you have the opportunity to go to one of our theater plays, I highly recommend it, or we highly recommend it. And to my right, we have the Palacio San Carlos, or San Carlos Palace. It was a presidential house when Bolívar was the president, when Simón Bolívar was the president, and nowadays is the Cancillería de Colombia, or the Office for International Affairs of Colombia. Now, below this street, there is an orange building. It's a hotel, Hotel de la Ópera. This is a funny local story. When the Rolling Stones came to Bogota, they stayed in that hotel. Mick Jagger sneaked out, passed by security, and bought an Oblea, a traditional wafer that we eat here for dessert. we are going to try to find the lady that sold the wafer to him so we can have a Mick Jagger or Rolling Stones approved Oblea. Guys, we're super excited because we found the lady who sold the Oblea to Mick Jagger. And that's not the real reason we were looking for her. The real reason is that she actually sells the best oleas in La Candelaria. So we're going to have an olea. We made it to the Bolivar Square, and if you've seen a lot of videos about Bogota or if you have read about Bogota, La Candelaria is the heart of the city and the Bolivar Square is the heart of La Candelaria. So we are where everything started after the colony here in Bogota, Colombia. So over there, this beautiful French building, it's the City Hall of Bogota. To my left is now the Justice Palace of Colombia. This is the main church of the country, Catedral Primada de Colombia. And over here, we have the Capitol or the building for the Congress. Now, because there are so many stories here, we'll need more than 15 minutes to tell all of this. So we are just going to feed you with one very cool story that says a lot about Bogotanians. So to tell you this story, I just want to point out this house in the corner. When you come here, you are going to see a beautiful painting from the 1900s showing how we Bogotanians used to dress at that time, especially with hats. Now, if you notice, the architecture of all the buildings here is different, and the building on my back, the City Hall of Bogota, it has more of a French architecture. That's because in the 1900s, this used to be the Galeria Sarrubla, and that was the first shopping mall of the city. Well, the first shopping mall of the city. And most of the vendors in there were hat vendors. Now, one of the vendors was a horrible businessman. Because of that, he decided to set on fire his store, and he had such a bad luck that he burned the entire building. Now the whole Galeria Sarrubla came down, and this is another moment that shows how resilient Colombians are, because what the other vendors did is that they moved to the next street. We're going to take you there. That's called the Hat Streets, and we still have vendors from the stores that come from the 1900s that still sell traditional hats in there, and you can go and buy a really good hat in that street. Today we share with you the heart of Bogota, La Candelaria, and we did it in a unique way because you got to see our main landmarks and some of our personal hidden gems as local hosts in the city. If you like what you saw today, hit the bell, follow us, and better, if you come to the city, take a tour with us. We would love to show you La Candelaria. It's one of our favorite places inside of Bogota.
Bye guys, until the next one.
Until the next one.
Hit the bell.